So, be damned if I can remember who exactly it was that asked me, but I was asked about how to build a trailer. Some different things, you know. And so, I don't have the pickup box trailer handy, but I can show you just about everything I need to show you about building a trailer with this homemade trailer right here. This thing's a frickin' tank. What this actually is this is a 51 Ford 2-ton truck frame. The original axle is still in place, as you can see, right here. And the axle that sits ahead of that, because double axle dually, of course, obviously, came off of the 39 Ford that sits back there, our parts 39. So, front axle, or for a 39 axle, and the back axle is a 51 axle. Basically what we did is we just chopped the frame on the 51, jacked up the front end, rolled this axle in underneath, set it down, drilled some holes, bolted it in, and yeah, we've had great luck. We used to have a, when we still had it before Dad broke it, but that's another story. We used to have a 1,000-gallon tank, and so we'd sit a 1,000-gallon tank on the back, and the two 250s up in the front, and we hauled water before we had the well over in the north pasture. So at the front, it's just a really simple hitch. Actually, it worked out pretty well because these axles had traction bars on them. So you can see what we did there. Left the traction bars intact. Brought. Let me move this. You can see. We notched the frame right in there. Brought it together at center, and what you just got to measure. And you run a string line, you measure, put a piece across there, mark center, and then draw a string line out, and then square it up. You can use a string line, or you can use a piece of metal with a square. But you want to make sure your tongue is square, or your trailer will not pull straight. Anyways, so we brought all that together, welded all that, and then brought a pipe back, and of course, as you can see, bolted those traction bars onto the back side of the pipe. Supported the front end of the hitch with just pieces of tubing. Like you can see, this is a full piece of tubing, but it's been notched there and then laid on and then welded across. Strapped on this piece to the front of the hitch for strength, welded the piece across there, and then the hitch had to be adjustable because there's, as you can imagine, it's pretty front heavy, so you got to be able to hook it up. So made the hitch adjustable for different hitches or different bumpers. So just welded this plate onto our hitch, supported by this. That's all. If I had this sectioned apart, you could see that this tube is actually welded to the inside of this. But drilled the holes and made just a regular old hitch pin. And works great. I mean, you can haul a lot of weight with this thing. It's a pretty heavy-duty trailer. You know, and for the bed, all it is we just basically did the same thing as I did on the Ranger. You know, laid down the wood, brought the wood pieces across, you know, making sure that there was nothing that was going to interfere with the tires. And then laid the bed across the top. Of course, without the finish work that I did on the Ranger, you know. The Ranger is pretty well finished. So, that is how we built this trailer. Now, I'll take you down and I'll show you the other trailer. Down to the other trailer we go! Whee! I'm gonna lose my battery again if I'm not careful. Oh, you just gotta love this car, don't you? There's the other trailer. Had to get from one end of the yard to the other. Okay. This trailer's, whoa, brakes. This trailer is far more simple. What this was a 78 Chevy 3/4 ton. I believe it was 3/4 ton. 4-wheel drive. And this one was really simple. Now to be honest, I'm not finished with it because I need to put some support in here and I need to put some support in here. But what we did is just stripped off the cab, stripped the frame, left the rest of it as it is. Left the axle underneath with all the attachments. And then where the work actually came in was all we had to do was just notch the frame right here to the angle that I was going to want to cut or bend this frame to. And then the same on the other side. So I did that, welded, and then I welded a pad across there just for some structural support. Make sure that everything was sturdy. You can go uptown and you can buy a hitch just like these, and all it is it just lays right on your tongue, and then you can just weld it on or bolt it on or do whatever you're going to do to attach this hitch. The jack was also really easy. All you do there is you can go uptown and you buy a jack with a weld-on plate on it, and you just set it against your frame and weld it on, so then you got this nifty dandy jack. And when you're done, you pull the pin and so on and so forth. But now the comment was made about the axle always turning. Now on this, it's fairly moot point. There's so very little resistance. I suppose there is moving parts to wear out, but we've never had a problem with it. But what you can do is if you've got a vehicle like this that's got a full floating axle, you can just take this cap right here. If you undo these bolts, this cap will just pull right out. You may have to tap on it a bit. So you pull this end out, and the whole axle shaft will come out. So then you just slice it right next to the end here, where that shaft is at. Slice the shaft off, and then you just bolt and leave the shaft out, and then you just bolt this cap right back on. And then you're not turning any of the internals, any of that carrier, the spiders or ring gear or pinion. None of that is going to turn then after you do that, which is essentially all you're doing is just eliminating, the bearings in there and making it so that the only bearings you're worrying about is the ones right here that you're riding on. And so that just, if you feel so inclined to do that, that's by all means. Now, I will warn you, however, if you are to build a trailer out of one of these Chevys, they are really unbalanced. You can stand on the back of this trailer and pick up the front end, as you can see. So, if you go to hop on the tailgate like the first time I did, you're going to go for a bit of a spill. Now, as far as taillights and such, usually all you need to do is just wire up your regular taillights to a trailer wiring harness. Really very simple, 4 wires and blinkers. Let's see, blinkers, 2 blinkers, brake lights, reverse lights. Yeah, I think, well, maybe it's 3 wires. Anyways, it's wired up like so. Like I said, you want to do differently than I did. You should put a support like from here to there on the inside, so that you just have some support with your frame. You just want to make sure that you don't give it all there. And like I said on the other trailer, you got to make sure that your tongue is straight. That you get that right angle so that you're not pulling crooked and offset to the one side or the other. So that is how you build a trailer. And I hope that hope you guys will all give it a try, and be sure to let me know how it works out, and send me your videos or pictures of the trailers that you build. Let's see you do it.